What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about is bodybuilding for everyone. This week's Fan Friday comes to us from Baja, and he asks, is bodybuilding for everyone, meaning genetic-wise? So I want to take his question and expand on it a little bit. Let's get into it. So is bodybuilding for everyone? In short, no. Everyone's genetic makeup is a little bit different than the next person's. That doesn't mean that they can't try to be a bodybuilder, though. Just because you have poor genetics for bodybuilding doesn't mean that you can't strive to be a bodybuilder. There's still other categories like physique and classic physique that you could try to do. You don't necessarily have to be the biggest, baddest bodybuilder on the planet in order to still compete within the fitness industry, within the physique sport industry. With that being said, I wanted to take things a little bit further and go, is competitive bodybuilding for everyone? And once again, that answer is a profound no. Now, bodybuilding in general, I think, is for everybody, no matter what their genetics are, because what is bodybuilding? It is gaining some muscle, losing some fat, essentially, when you really boil it down to the basics. And everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to gain a little bit of muscle. Everybody wants to lose a little bit of fat. Bodybuilders just take that to the extremes. So is bodybuilding in that sense for everyone? Yes. But competitive bodybuilding, on the other hand, is definitely not for everyone. And I honestly don't encourage it for many, because a lot of people, they are fine with going into the gym, with their training. They eat okay, but they're always in a surplus. You know, they might lose a few pounds here or there, but they don't have what it takes to diet to single-digit body fat for months on end, to compete in one and or two shows, to be on stage for 5 to 10 minutes, and that be the end of it. It takes a rare person in order to do that. So in that sense, competitive bodybuilding is definitely not for everybody. And even the people that compete in competitive bodybuilding, I think some people need to take a hard look at themselves and ask themselves, is this really for me? Because I see this more often than not, that some people in the sport, they come in, they think they're going to do well, they think they're going to love it, and they compete, and they don't necessarily like it, but they're like, well, maybe if I just diet harder next time around, or maybe if I do this next time around, maybe I'll like it a little bit more. Well, in reality, if you don't like it from the very beginning, it's probably not going to be for you. And like I said, it takes a rare person to be able to diet down to single-digit body fat percentages to compete at one show. Some people might look at that as a waste of time. Other people might look at that as a challenge to see if you can outlast the person next to you. Really, the person that's going to be potentially next to you, because you never know who's going to show up to these competitions. And I think that's why, once again, that these bodybuilding shows aren't necessarily particularly large. There's not hundreds and hundreds of people doing natural bodybuilding shows, is because the method is really hard to get there. So really, by the end, those people who have made it most of the way, I would say, are probably the ones that are a little bit more mentally tough than the rest of the general population. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody can't come and just try things out and see how it goes, but is bodybuilding for everyone? I would say definitely not. And that's why you see people, maybe they compete once, maybe they compete twice, but then they're done. You don't see too many people compete year after year after year. And I'm not talking about back-to-back seasons. I'm just talking about for extended careers. So you may see some people compete hot and heavy for over a 2 to 5 year span, and then they're done. But you also see people who maybe much less people compete over a 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 year period. Those, once again, are the more rare people. I mean, those obviously the people who really like it, who have probably done well, who have fallen in love with the sport of bodybuilding and noticed the long game. And it's all about falling in love with the long game. It's not about the short-term goals. And if anything, bodybuilding has taught me patience. I'm not necessarily the most patient person in general, but bodybuilding has taught me to be patient. So that's just one more aspect that you have to deal with when you're involved in the sport of bodybuilding, especially natural bodybuilding, because obviously we all know that progress does not happen overnight. We're not gaining 1 pound of lean muscle mass a week like some of these guys who are enhanced can. So it's all about finding your why and then sticking to that. So is bodybuilding for everyone? Yes, it is. But is competitive bodybuilding for everybody? Absolutely not. Great question. Hopefully you guys learned something. Let me know your comments below. Is bodybuilding for everyone? Is competitive bodybuilding for everyone? As always, guys, keep dominating every aspect. I'll see you soon.